Welcome back to another episode of Whiskey and Wine. I realize when we've been doing this, we haven't been introducing ourselves. I'm Sam,
I'm Heather.
and today we are going to be talking about the Northern Crafts region of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So,
With Christmas sweaters.
yes. So we have almost something from almost everyone. There's one place we don't have, but we're going to go through. We're going to talk about each one and have them kind of hidden because it's fun. So I'm going to move everybody off except for the one that we're going to be talking about, and then we're going to dive in. All right. So the first one we are talking about, they have these very standard large bottles. You hear us talk about them all the time because we love them. New Riff. Now this isn't a basic New Riff bottle because I wanted to mess with you guys just a little bit. That's the
Below us.
behind
Above
us.
Behind us. In the screen. There are the basic Riff bottles.
So New Riff is going to be located in Newport, Kentucky, right across. We're sharing the same parking lot with Party Source, right on the river. Really cool spot. They have a lot of different tours you can do there, whether you're just doing like a basic tasting with them, which is what I've usually done. They also have some more in-depth tours where you can get a little bit more nerdy with it. But I will say if you go there, best thing to really do is just go to the Aquifer. It's their little bar that they have upstairs. We love going there.
It's so cute. And they have great food options, like small bite options.
Grab a flight. They have a ton of different flights you can order from, or you can just go through their little whiskey library and pick something if you want to taste it. They have a lot of really good options. And as far as the tours go, I think the cheapest one's like $12 maybe, and then the most expensive one is like $120, where you get to go really, really nerdy with it. This is the one that most people know about for the northern region, just because they're probably the biggest. You see New Riff all over the place, whether you're in, like when we're here, obviously in Ohio, we see it, but also when we go up to Wisconsin, it's all over the place. Number one, New Riff. Set you to the side.
It might look like a lump of coal, but it's not. Augusta.
Augusta's a really fun spot. If you heard, what was it? They had their 13-year-old whiskey or whatever that they just released.
The video of me pulling out the.
Oh yes, you want to talk about that?
So their tour is something that's really exciting, where they will have 3 separate barrels that you are able to taste directly from the barrel. So this is one that Samuel bottled for me. You probably can't see it in the video because it's very faint, but there are like little bits of black flecks in here, and that was from the char of the barrel. So you actually get to bottle your own. And on the tour, you get to pull out the bung from the bun hole. And per our tour guide, it's only dirty if you make it dirty. But super fun experience.
Augusta is going to be a little bit further away than most of the Northern Craft region. Most of them are kind of centralized around.
Kentucky?
Well, yes, it's Kentucky. Right around Newport, Covington, right like on the river. A lot of them are centralized around there, probably about 20, 30 minutes away. I think Augusta is going to be about almost an hour, 45 minutes or so. So it's a little bit farther off the path, but they have a lot of stuff that they've been doing. So they've just got their full still renovations, everything up and running. They have a new cigar lounge where you can like roll your own cigars and things like that. It is a really cool spot, and they are doing a lot of interesting things. And they also just released, like I mentioned, it's a 13-year-old of their Buckners, I think is what it was. Really delicious. Little out of my price range right now. How much was it? Was it $300?
Yeah, it was like $300 a bottle.
Just a little bit much, but going and doing
the Riverside series is really good.
It's fantastic. A little bit more
approachable financially.
It was only what, $50 or something like that, 50, 60, and it's worth it. I'd say it's definitely a good bottle. Really craft. They do have some that were high rise. This one, I believe, is their wheated mash bill. I don't know if I actually have it right. I did write down the mash bill.
51% corn. Obviously, it's a bourbon. 45% wheat and 4% barley.
Yeah, so this is a very heavy wheated whiskey, but it's really good. Heather really likes her wheat whiskeys, so she thought. She's a rye girl.
You know, you can like many things, and that's okay. I don't want to get mad at you.
do this guy.
They have other options. This just happened to be the bottle that we still have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oh wait, the sweater's on backwards. Ah, there you go.
Looking at Boone County. So this was I think the actual second distillery that I've ever been to. And it was a very interesting first experience. I didn't do the full tour when I went there. I just went, did a quick little tasting, moved on. But they have a lot of different options. So this is their white dog. There's barely anything left, but it goes really nice to make almost like a margarita with that. Really good. Or just mix it with lemonade. Delicious. They have a lot of really interesting things that they're doing. They also have a bourbon cream, which is down over here. And they also, what was it? We got to taste obviously their standard bourbon, which I think is just good. It's not my favorite by any stretch. And
it's approachable, I guess.
What was their like Founders Reserve they released? We got to try that the other day. And again, it's good. Nothing that like knocks your socks off, but I do like their location. They actually have a wedding venue attached to them. And it's a really beautiful wide open spot where if you have a smaller wedding, probably I'd say 200 people, smaller. I'll say Boone County is one that I wasn't the biggest fan of right away. They had some solid options, but nothing that like knocked my socks off. They had a maple, I don't know if it was a maple finish or just a maple whiskey last year that I bought. I'm pretty sure I gave that away. It was just way too sweet. You tried it.
Oh, okay.
Just wasn't very memorable and super sweet. If you've watched our channel, you already know what this bottle is and you know who we're talking about.
Oh my. Ah, that tastes awkward.
Fuzzy's all over it now. Talking about Second Sight. So I'm not going to spend too much time on Second Sight because you guys already know we're huge fans of them. We love what they're doing over there. They have a great lineup of whiskeys, whether it's great lineup of spirits, whether it's their whiskeys, their rum, their
moonshine.
Yeah, the moonshines that they do. They have how many different moonshines?
They have many.
And they're really good.
All delicious. And their bourbon is really good. We've taken it to a blind taste testing with a group of friends, or not blind, but like where everyone brought a bottle to taste, and we brought.
Yeah, we did a bottle share,
and everyone really liked it. It was actually some people's top favorite among the options that we tasted that night.
This is very much so an underrated bottle. I think it's one that if you are in the Northern Craft region, go here. It's a pretty cheap tour. I think it's again like $14 or so, but is very much so worth it. It's delicious. Also, again, people there great. Go check out the video where we actually take you on the tour with us. I'll try to link that down below or see if I can pin it somewhere. But Second Sight, really great option. The other one that is nearby, it's another one that I went on by myself.
Much smoother.
But this is Neeley family. So if you want to hear about all of the weird, fun things that went on in Kentucky history.
Wait, were these the dudes who were like, here are the guns? Yeah. I actually haven't been there in person, but I've heard about it.
They will actually show you like pictures or actual things that were used illegally back in like Prohibition, pre-Prohibition times, moonshining times, all that fun stuff. But they have a very interesting history that it's really fun to hear. But at the same time, you kind of sit there and you're like, is this real? Did this actually happen? Am I in a movie right now? It's really cool. However, their absinthe was the one I decided to buy because, first of all, I can never find absinthe. This one, I believe it won double gold at it won whatever the highest thing is you can get at the San Francisco Spirits Awards, which was one of the first absinthes. Maybe I think it was produced in America to do so. So this was like a very high-ranking absinthe, but they have a lot of really good bourbon. Fortunately, at this point, I think it was my fourth stop of the day, and I could not purchase more because it was a little expensive. I haven't been back over there to buy anything else.
And then we've talked about this one before. Oh my gosh, what could be in the book? Oh, would you look at that? This little guy.
It's kind of hard to get out.
There we go.
Talking about Pensive.
So cute.
And again, we have a longer format video on them, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Pensive. Again, a newer one that's been added to the craft region. Fun spot, really great.
Right in Newport.
Yeah, right in Newport. I think it's, I don't remember the street that it's on, but it's basically like actually, it's Newport. I always forget. Newport and Covington are kind of one place. Does say Newport on the back? It's Newport. Thanks. But it's right on this main drag, and there's tons to do around there. Their whiskey is going to be really, really good because they have, I think it's an 80, a 100 proof, and then they have a different one that's like part of their main core lineup. Cocktails are great. Food is probably one of the best restaurants attached to a distillery that I've been to, really. I know there's a lot
Like,
of
I would go
ones.
there to just like order food. And they have a really amazing lounge space that they've renovated from what was previously a speakeasy. So if you want to, host a party with an authentic bullet hole in the wall, that's an option.
And the last one, I don't have anything from them because everything that they had at this point, again, was way out of my price range when I first went. And this is Old Pogue. Old Pogue is going to be the farthest one away. I think it's like an hour and a half-ish drive for me when we lived right in Cincinnati, downtown Cincinnati, basically. It was a long drive. So if you're doing the Bourbon Trail, you're doing that northern region, just know if you want to get out to Old Pogue, it's going to be a little bit of a hike. It's also one of the smallest. I forget how many barrels they produce in a year, but it's incredibly small in comparison to even the smaller spots. Like if you took Second Sight, for example, which is pretty small, Old Pogue is even smaller. And I think their cheapest bottle that they had there was like $100. How did that bug get inside? Sorry about that distraction. It was a tiny bug that needed, well, not tiny, it's actually a large bug that needed to be dealt with. Where were we?
Old Pogue.
Yeah. So like I was saying, very small operation. So everything is a little bit more expensive. I don't personally think it's worth it, but that's me again. However, their tour is pretty fun. It is a very small family kind of oriented location. When I went, they actually had their like family reunion going on at the same day. So we had to wait a little bit for them to clear out so we could actually go do our tasting. Because they were literally having the family reunion in the house that the distillery is like part of and everything. It's kind of wild.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I just realized I have not poured myself anything. But this guy real quick. In general, when it comes to the Northern Craft Tour, what are your favorites?
I haven't been to all of them, so I feel like that's an important disclaimer. I think my favorite tours are the Augusta tour and Second Sight tour. Just because they are like very interactive. You get to both interact with your tour guide and the people with you. They do a good job of where you feel like you get to know who you're with.
So if you're coming up, usually what I'd recommend if you're going to be coming from Louisville or that area, you're probably going to want to hit Neeley first, and then I think Boone would be your next closest, then Second Sight. You can take a break at New Riff for a little bit, and that's a good spot to kind of call home base. And then from there, you can go hit the others, and you'd basically be able to get all of the northern tour done in 2 days. You'll need the 2 days mainly for traveling all the way out to
Augusta
and then Old Pogue. And also, if you're going to be doing tastings, you don't really want to be doing tastings at almost 7 different distilleries. That's not a good call.
Calm down.
Please be safe. Don't try to do that. If you have a DD and they want to drive your very drunk behind around, more power to you. Yeah. But I don't think I have many friends who would want to do that.
What makes a craft distillery craft?
I don't remember what the actual legal distinction is, but it's something to do with how many barrels they're producing. Okay. So there are some locations that are like, you shouldn't technically be craft. And I don't know if it's a national thing or if it's a regional thing. So Kentucky might have it where this is craft. Ohio might have something different that's craft. But it's how many you're producing, I believe, technically for yourself. Okay. Because I know Middle West, I believe they're still considered a craft distillery, but they produce so much whiskey,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of it isn't for them. So what they have is craft, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something to do with that. I can't exactly remember.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll have to look that up. If anyone knows, let us know down below. But I highly recommend, obviously, doing the main bourbon trail. I wasn't the biggest fan of it because it's just very formal. They kind of just run you through everything pretty quickly. Whereas on these craft tours, you get to ask questions, hang out, and you might get some fun random treatment depending on who you're with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say which location or who I was with, but I did get to taste something before it released because this guy was like, you know what? Do you guys want to try something fun? We're like, sure. So I got to try something. It was like almost a month before it was like released to the public. Mm-hmm. So you might get that fun experience. You might not. Kind of rolling the dice. But no matter what, the craft tours are going to be a lot of fun. The spirits are going to be very more. Wow, that's not English. So if you haven't been on the Northern Craft region, I highly recommend going. If you have, let us know down below which ones you like and why you like those places. Hopefully starting next year, we're going to be going on a couple more tours with this one. So we'll take you guys along on those so you can see a little bit more of those behind the scenes. Hopefully you guys are going to go on some of these fun tours. Let us know down below which ones you like. Have a happy new year and see you guys in 2025. Cheers. So cheesy.
So cute.